What's up guys, my name is Ace, and Treyarch gave us another teaser for Black Ops 4, this time regarding 4 of the perks that we're going to be seeing in the game. And this one kind of goes hand in hand with the previous teaser that they gave us on Twitter, which was this image here, which seems to very strongly suggest that the Pick 10 class system is going to be returning in Black Ops 4. Now this seems like a pretty simple image, like you could just go through and kind of speculate what each perk means, but there's a lot more to be gathered from this particular image, and I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on that today. Keep in mind, from this point on in the video, this is going to be my thoughts and my speculation about these perks and this image and what it means in general. Nothing I say from this point on is going to be confirmed by any means, but I am going to be supporting what I say with some logic and evidence and everything like that. So first up, let's just go through the individual perks and what I think those perks are, and then after that, I'm going to be sharing what I feel this overall image means when it comes to like the time period, as well as the movement system in this game. I think there's quite a bit that can be gathered from this. So first up, we have this perk here, where it's somebody climbing up a ladder. To me, my initial thought is this is a perk that's going to allow you to climb and mantle faster. So kind of like dexterity in the past, where if you want to mantle over an object, you can do it a lot faster with this perk and you can recover faster. Or if you want to climb up a ladder, you'll also be able to climb up that ladder faster. I'm not too sure what else it could possibly be. It seems like that is the absolute logical choice at this point. The second perk is quite interesting for a Treyarch game. We've got an image of a person reloading an assault rifle. And for this one, the first thing that pops into my mind, and I'm sure most of your minds, is a perk that allows you to reload faster. So kind of like sleight of hand or hustle from the past. This is really interesting though, because this doesn't go along with what Treyarch has done for the past couple of Call of Duties at least, where any sort of perk relating to handling your weapon, so reloading faster and things like that, has been attachments and not perks. So we haven't had a sleight of hand type perk in Treyarch's most recent Call of Duty games. Instead, that's been the dual mag attachment. So this particular perk seems to suggest that they might be getting away from that for Black Ops 4, and they might start including those as perks again. This is further supported by the next perk that they shared, and this is a Hyena. To me, the first thing that popped into my mind was the Stalker perk from Modern Warfare 3. If we look at the image for the Stalker perk here, we also see a hyena, or it could be a wolf or something similar, but it's similar imagery here. So immediately I was thinking, oh, Stalker is coming as a perk in Black Ops 4. Now, if we only saw this image without seeing the previous perk where it looks like somebody's reloading faster, I would have thought that this is likely something different. But the fact that it appears that we are going to have a faster reloading perk, and I don't know what else that perk could possibly be, that leads me to believe that we are going to be seeing the ability to strafe faster while aiming down sight. We're going to be seeing that as a perk rather than an attachment, or perhaps we'll see both, but they won't stack, kind of like what we've seen with the way that the basic trainings and the divisions overlap in COD World War II, and this could potentially open up even more freedom with the way that you create your classes with Pick 10. Now, if this particular perk isn't the Stalker perk, the other speculation I've seen that could make a bit of sense is this might be a Dead Silence type perk, because the Hyena is a relatively stealthy animal, so perhaps it could be Dead Silence as well. Now finally, we have this perk here with this boot of a person that's clearly in motion, and immediately the thing that pops into my mind is lightweight, or the ability to sprint faster. It could also be a marathon type perk, which allows you to sprint for a longer duration, but I feel like, especially after what we've seen with COD World War II, I think unlimited sprint is here to stay. I could be wrong, maybe they will bring back limited sprint with Black Ops 4, but in either case, I still think this particular perk is going to be the lightweight style perk that allows you to sprint faster. So those are all the perks that we were able to see. One thing to note looking at them all together is they're all the same color, which makes me believe that they're all within the same tier of perks, and that makes sense because they all seem to be focused around either handling or mobility. Now another thing to notice with this image is on the top right, it looks like we have 2 wildcards there. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with the Pick 10 system, those wildcards are what allow you to stack up on an extra perk from the same tier of perks, but that comes at the cost of an extra point slot being taken out of your class. It's interesting to note that these wildcards are a different style. The first one is just a regular jester, and the second one is a jester with a skull. But I'm not entirely sure what this could mean at this point. I don't think we have quite enough information to properly speculate on this. It could be just for different tiers of perks, or it could be something new and unique that we haven't seen before with the Pick 10 system. I think that's something we'll just have to wait and see a little bit more information on. So those are what I think those individual perks are. Now let's get into what else we can get from this image. First up, the movement system. That first perk where you have somebody climbing a ladder seems to very strongly suggest that we're going to be seeing boots on the ground for Black Ops 4. Why would you want a perk that allows you to climb ladders more effectively if you have advanced movement? What would be the point of that? Why would anybody ever use that? That doesn't make much sense to me. So I feel this really strongly hints at the fact that we're going to be seeing boots on the ground, or at least more of a focus on boots on the ground compared to something like Black Ops 3. Perhaps we'll have kind of a hybrid system where there's a little bit of advanced movement, but not to the same extent as Black Ops 3, so a perk like this would still make sense to be used. Or perhaps it's just going to be 100% boots on the ground. We're going to have to wait and see with that. But to me at least, this first perk seems to very strongly suggest that we aren't going to be seeing a movement system quite like we see in Black Ops 3. Next up, I feel like we can get a better indication of the setting or the time period of this game based on the images within these perks. The most important one is the second image, where we have the person reloading the assault rifle. I have been combing through the internet looking at images of modern as well as some past assault rifles, as well as even some prototype assault rifles. I can't find a single assault rifle in existence today that properly matches up with this image. Yes, of course, I was able to find some that are similar because a lot of assault rifles are built off of the same principles and therefore they will look very similar to this, but I couldn't find a single image of an assault rifle that matches up properly with this. If you look at all the lines, all the shapes, the trigger guard, the action style, everything that goes along with that, I wasn't able to find a single assault rifle in existence that matches up with that. Which does lead me to believe that this could be a near future sort of setting, or even a far future setting. I strongly feel it's not going to be Vietnam or Cold War unless there's some sort of a flashback or time travel or something along those lines, because an assault rifle like the one we're seeing in that image simply didn't exist at that time, at least to my knowledge, based on all of the research that I've been doing. Now, another thing that can maybe give us a bit of an indication of the time period is just the general art style with these perks. If you just look at the art style, it doesn't really give me a super futuristic vibe. These are just patches rather than some fancy technological looking thing. I don't know how to describe it, but I think you guys get the idea of what I'm talking about here. They're just simple patches. This has been leading a lot of people to believe that this is going to be that Cold War or Vietnam. It's going to be a past type of shooter. But like I said, with that assault rifle there, I think that kind of rules out a past shooter. But I also kind of buy into the idea that this doesn't look super futuristic. So what I feel this is going to be is either a modern day or a very slightly near future setting. I don't think it's going to be in space. I don't think there's going to be laser guns all over the place. I think it's going to be grounded in reality, but it could be a bit in the future. And that's what I'm really hoping for and what I've always been hoping for with this game. I would personally love to see a slightly near future Call of Duty for Black Ops 4, where it gives the developers a little bit of creative freedom when it comes to some of the gadgets and score streaks and things like that we're using, while still keeping things grounded in reality. That to me would be the perfect setting for Black Ops 4. And with that, that's pretty much everything that I was able to gather from this image. I'd like to know in the comment section below, first off, what do you think these individual perks will be? Do you think I'm correct with what they'll be, or do you think maybe they could be something different than what I stated? Second, do you think it is going to be a boots on the ground only game? Do you think it's going to be advanced movement, or do you think it's going to be a bit of a hybrid where we have some forms of advanced movement, but in a very limited capacity? And finally, based on this image, what time period do you think this game will be set in? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.